Hello, Far East Reading. Welcome. This is Sherry, and you're watching in Sherry's Opinion. Let's see here. Which way did the front of the car end up after it was turned upside down? East or west? Well, I have no idea about that. They pulled it out from the rear of the vehicle, but that's about all I could tell you about that. What I did want to share with you guys is I'm not going to be on here a whole long time because I have been on this computer for so long, and I don't understand how a lot of YouTubers do this. I mean, when do they have time to take care of their children, cook, clean, take care of their own personal needs, and water their plants? I have things that I need to do, but I keep going down these rabbit holes. And, I've went over and over and over some of this stuff, and it's not adding up. It's not making sense to me. I mean, I understand what's going on, but why are these people involved in this case of Kylie Rodney? Why are they doing and saying the things that they're doing? I know that there are truths in lies when people do things like this, like in all these other cases. Was the tow truck driver real? I've seen where it is a fact. But I have questions. And I've pulled up some stuff that I saw on, I don't know, short videos from Jays for Justice. And I believe this guy's name is Doug he's with Adventures with Purpose. I believe in Adventures with Purpose. I'm going to believe what they tell me over what law enforcement tells me or releases to the public. I am very, very concerned that we get the correct, full truth out of the medical examiner. I do not want any corruption going on, and that's what's worrying me the most, is the corruption in this case. It could be that I'm just a suspicious person. I don't know, but I am hoping and praying that they give us the true facts of what happened. Hey, Vestiges. In Jed Hull's case, I saw that one. I did see that one. They pulled the front of the car, but Kylie Rodney's case, they pulled the back. It just depends on how the car goes into the water. What's closest to the shore is where they're going to pull it. And I seen the whole thing where they did pull that vehicle out and the tires were turning. Now, if this tow truck driver is telling the truth, now I've never had to call a tow truck, thank you God, but Uh, let's see. Vestiges. Well, I'm best. I hope and I pray they tell us the truth. I really do. I felt so bad for Nick because, you know, he had to be the one to go down there and find her. But I'm grateful for him. Um, but I went on Jays for Justice and I found these little, well, actually, I don't know how I seen them, but these little clips that Doug put out. And I don't know if anybody else has seen them yet or whatever. But I would like to talk about them. And I'd like to talk about the tow truck driver. Now, when you go, we call a tow truck driver. Do they ask for any kind of ID to make sure that you're not stealing this vehicle that you're calling in about? I do not know because I've never called a tow truck. But it seems to me they would want some kind of identification to make sure that you're not stealing a vehicle. And if Kylie, supposedly this was Kylie, I don't believe that it was. And this is just my opinion, okay? This is not official. This is just my opinion. Kate looks most like Kylie than any of them. And if this tow truck driver went there and felt like she was scared, why didn't he make a quick radio call? Anything like that? I think he said it was a battery thing. Yeah, they called in because the car would not start. However, the car, now I seen this on Prairie Boy. Mr. Sheriff, known by some, and he was saying that if a car is in neutral, it will start. The only time that a car will not start is if it is in drive or reverse. So that made me think, okay, if this car supposedly was in neutral, why didn't it start? I am starting to believe, let me see, 2 weeks ago, my car broke down and had to get towed, and he didn't ask for ID, but I showed, you had the keys. Yeah, and that may make a big difference. I mean, it didn't, like it didn't look like it was being stolen. Like, I don't know how you would rig a car to steal it, but it didn't look suspicious to him. But the girl, was being suspicious, acting scared. Why didn't he kind of whisper to her, "Are you okay? Or do you need help?" People can talk to each other with their looks. You can give somebody a specific look, and they're going to know pretty much what you're thinking, you know? Our faces, our emotions on our face show a lot. You look in someone's eyes, and that shows a lot of how they're feeling. And if he had a clue, like he's saying, that she seemed like she didn't want to be around this guy, then why didn't he ask her, are you okay? Do you need help? Something. If he's showing her how to put on a seatbelt, he should have said something. Okay. And then the fact that if this happened, if this really actually happened, his DNA would be all over this car, right? Did they do that to set him up as a suspect or to throw everything off? Why were they dancing around the front part of the car and not letting him? It seems like they're not letting him go towards the back of the car, because they were pulled up facing the highway where they were found when they made that phone call for the tow truck. The front end of the car was facing like they were going to go out onto that highway. So my question is, why are they keeping him away from the back of the car? Because they knew Kylie was back there, in my opinion. And were they trying to throw everything off by putting her in Donner Lake instead of in Prosser? Because the party was around Prosser. And if they put her in Donner Lake, maybe they wouldn't look there. They would only look in Prosser, you know? And why didn't law enforcement find her in 10 feet of freaking water? I don't care if you had a radar or sonar or ESP. I don't get it. There is no way that they couldn't have found her. But maybe I'm being harsh. And somebody that is involved in this is has family in law enforcement. So what's the connection? Why is there so much conspiracy and cover-up in Kylie's story? I want to show you the things that sorry. I want to show you the things that she wasn't there when the cops were looking. That's possible. But there were people out looking for her. Why didn't they find her car? And when they do the autopsy, they should know if she had went into the water days after this happened. I mean, days after she was killed or had passed away. I want to know, because was she in a fight? Was she beat up? I don't know how else to say it. Was she bruised up to where she looked like she had been in a fight? But Doug, I'm gonna show you some stuff that Doug put out. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to share my screen so that you can hear what he says. In case you haven't seen this yet, and if you have, I think I need to give my opinion on some of this stuff. But I believe Adventures with a Purpose over what everybody else is saying, because they were there. They have no reason to lie. So let's see what Doug has to say.
You know, I mean, you want to talk about her being found in an area that's not oh, I made a wrong turn. It doesn't happen in this scenario. That's not a wrong turn road there. You know, I mean, you want to talk about her being found in an area that's not oh, I made a wrong turn. It doesn't happen in this scenario. That's not a wrong turn road there. You know, I mean,
It's not a wrong turn road there. It's crazy. And I have to do this every time. I'm not technically smart here. I'm not a technical guru or anything like that. So I have to redo this every time. I swear I need to take classes or something. I really don't want to have to do this every time. Okay. Shoot. There's another one.
talk about what everybody knows. All right, let's put it out there.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm not muting myself. I hope this doesn't echo. If it does, let me know. Oh, maybe I figured something out here. Maybe.
Erase the tow truck guy, right? We have a 16-year-old child that disappears, correct? She disappears with her vehicle. She's at a party with upwards of 400 kids that have attended and vanishes. I mean, someone knows something, if not multiple people know something. I can't go into it anymore, man. You know, talk about what everybody knows. All right, let's put it out there. Erase the tow truck guy, right? We have a 16-year-old child that disappears, correct? She disappears with her vehicle. She's at a party with upwards of 400 kids that have attended and vanishes. I mean, someone knows something, if not multiple people know something. I can't go into it anymore, man. You know, talk about what everybody.
Yep, I believe him. I really do. Okay. The next one that I saw. Let's see.
Is the fact that she's not in the front seat. Now, is that alarming? It was alarming to Nick. I know it was. Was it alarming to you as well?
This is.
I tried to ask carefully.
Yeah. I mean, let's just be obvious. You know, it's open for interpretation. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in hindsight, extremely alarming when you're not only not in the back seat, but you're in the back cargo area, and the vehicle was found upside down. So you have multiple windows that are either open or halfway down. We're talking about a very, very tiny young girl. I mean, that's open for a lot of assessment there. I think it's alarming. Absolutely.
Is the fact that she's not in the front seat. Now, is that it was alarming to Nick? I know it was. Was it alarming to you as well?
This is.
I tried to ask carefully.
Yeah. I mean, let's just be obvious. You know, it's open for interpretation. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in hindsight, extremely alarming when you're not only not in the back seat, but you're in the back cargo area, and the vehicle was found upside down. So you have multiple windows that are either open or halfway down. We're talking about a very, very tiny young girl. I mean, that's open for a lot of assessment there. I think it's alarming. Absolutely.
Is the fact that she's not in the front seat.
It is very alarming. It is to me. And Judith, thank you so much. You have to produce membership card and everything is filmed. Thank you for that. And I believe there's one more of these videos with Doug. And I feel so bad. I really love this guy. He is...
But I can say that we were in talks with the local sheriff's department prior to coming. It was a very in-depth invitation. There's a lot of, this is actually an ongoing investigation as well. There's so much to the story that is still left to be told. That's still being investigated. And so a lot of the things, are happening. But I can say that we were in talks with the local sheriff's department prior to coming. It was a very in-depth invitation. There's a lot of, this is actually an ongoing investigation as well. There's so much to the story that is still left to be told. That's still being investigated. And so a lot of the things, are happening. But I can say that we were in talks with the local sheriff's department prior to coming. It was a very in-depth invitation. There's a lot of, this is actually an ongoing investigation as well. There's so much to the story that is still left to be told. That's still being investigated. And so a lot of the things, are happening. But I can say that we were in talks with the local sheriff's department prior to coming. It was a very in-depth invitation. There's a lot of, this is actually an ongoing investigation as well.
And you guys, Jay, I am not trying to steal your stuff. I'm just trying to share this information of Adventures with a Purpose. I subscribe to Jay's for Justice. I suggest everybody go. Man, she's got some great stuff. She really does. She really knows how to get into this stuff. And I am looking for The tow truck drivers, and it may be in this one, I'm not sure. I don't remember which video I saw it in. The tow truck driver, which one was it in? Let's see. I don't think it was this one.
This is going to serve as a press release debrief of our efforts searching for and finding Kylie Rodney. Anything within this video may be used by any news agency or outlet within their own news reporting. This is only an announcement and briefing. Fully edited episodes will be released soon, so please be patient. We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle and have confirmed that there were remains inside.
An official investigation, an official identification of the remains will be made and announced by authorities once their investigations are complete. Please understand and respect this is a highly active investigation by the FBI and multiple local sheriff's departments. We are limited to the scope of details we can release.
We began our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10:40 a.m. We placed 2 sonar boats in the water. By 11:15 a.m., Nick detected an object underwater using cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. I was able to then confirm that it was, in fact, a vehicle in roughly 14 feet of water and only 55 feet offshore. After marking the vehicle with our magnet, Nick suited up in his dive gear and conducted the dive to formally identify and assess the vehicle, with me running OTS comms topside. Once we confirmed it was indeed Kylie's vehicle, we immediately notified family, law enforcement, and Dad and Grandpa were on scene within minutes. Please refer to our episodes for complete search investigation that we conducted. These episodes will be released very soon. Again, this takes time to edit. We will need to put these together in an appropriate way in order to respect law enforcement.
That's Daddy.
That should be out.
That's the grandpa.
Probably within the next week or so. Placer County Sheriff's Department, Nevada County Sheriff's Department,
the grandfather sat there and watched this whole thing. The police were not out there. AWP was out there on their own. Law enforcement was not involved in their search. They had to call them in once they did find Kylie's car. And AWP has experience with this stuff. They know what to look for. I believe in their expertise and what they tell us. And I've said this from the very beginning. She did not put herself in that lake. And I do not believe that she was alive when she went in that water. That's just my personal thing. These guys are so good at what they do. And I think I remember that the tow truck driver was in this one.
No clues to lead them to Rodney's whereabouts. Police said she last spoke with her friends and family shortly after midnight on August 6th, and her phone was turned off around 12:33 a.m.
Actually, that wasn't. It was a text message. That text message could have came from anybody that had her phone. And there's no reason for her phone to have died. If she had this charger, if she was around her vehicle, I'm not buying this story. And This sheriff right here, I have questions. I want to see. Okay, this. I thought it was right here.
Reno, Nevada. On our way to work, that Kylie Rodney case just down the street in Truckee, California. And Nick, a longtime supporter, fan of ours, appreciate you for coming up to us. Possibly has some information in regards to the Kylie Rodney case. So why don't you?
Possibly has information. Has this been verified? I mean, I know they say that they've got video, but somebody share something with us. You know, we have not heard from Placer County law enforcement since Kylie's been found, other than she was found, and that's it. It should not take this long on an autopsy. I know we're waiting on toxicology, but they could tell us everything and then tell us toxicology later. They've done this in other cases. At least to my knowledge, they have. Okay, there's an echo. So,
You explain a little bit about what you may have run into.
So my name is Nick. I work at an emergency roadside assistance program. I got a call up in Truckee at Bogut for a battery call. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle. At the time, I didn't realize that this was a situation until later on. But
Let me stop right there. You said you went to Boca.
yes, sir.
So over near Boca Lake.
Yes, sir.
So not Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Lake.
It's right by Crosser Creek.
Yeah, so just north. So you went to Boca.
At first, when I went there, I realized after my test that, everything was working great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that, she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. She was asking me really weird questions, in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And okay. And then she asked me to show her on how to connect it to,
I will say that even a woman knows that if your battery, when you get in your car and you turn that key, the car doesn't start, but you have lights, you have your radio, you have your ding, 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 ding of your door. You have all this power. Your battery is not dead. Women, even women know this. So what made them think that the battery was dead? The car wouldn't start. I mean, I've had cars before that you have to actually kind of turn the wheel a little to even make the key go all the way around to where you can start it. And I know these are young kids, but you would think that this guy that was with her, you would think that this guy would know all this. And if they really did call for a tow truck, was it to get someone else's DNA on this vehicle? Is that why they did it? Did they do it so they would have someone come out and say that they saw her when they really didn't see her? That's what I'm thinking. Those AWP guys are all hot. They should have a calendar. You know, that is a great idea. Why don't they make calendars? If they did, I bet they would sell them like crazy. That is a freaking great idea. AWP, we want calendars. We want some official AWP Adventures with a Purpose calendars. So get on that. Get on it for 2023. That would be great. I love that idea. Man, this is just so fishy, and I can't stop going down all the rabbit holes and listening to what everybody's thinking. I think most of us know, just out of common sense of what we've seen and heard, that this little girl, I'm old, so I can call her a little girl. This young lady, this precious young lady, was done wrong. Her life was taken from her. And there is a lot of people that know what happened. And these kids, they went home and they told their families about this stuff. And their families told them not to get involved. Why? Why would you tell your children not to get involved when that's not the right thing to do? When you see something happen to another person that's wrong, you should step in and do something. That's your job. That's your duty as a human being. And I put out a small video, just a couple of minutes long, to the people who know something. They're going to be looking over their shoulder for the rest of their life, or until they speak up. If it was you that were put in this situation, wouldn't you want someone to stand up and tell what happened to you? I think you would. If this was your child, wouldn't you want someone to come forward and say what happened? This is somebody's child. And we're all involved now. Everybody who follows true crime and missing people, this is our business. And we got to do something. Just getting her name and her face out there, we can't let this just go by. This was something that happened to someone that had her whole life ahead of her. She didn't deserve this. if this is legit with the tow truck driver, I wish they would come out and say something. Law enforcement needs to let us know what's going on. At least if they do, if they keep us abreast of what's going on, it may stop some of the speculation that's going on. And I don't have any proof that she was not alive when she went in the water, but it is very, very suspicious. Was she asleep in the hatch and the car rolled into the water? I don't think so. Why would the back end of it be down? I don't think she would go back there and go to sleep and have the back down around the water. It doesn't make any sense. Look at where the car was pulled out of the water at. It doesn't add up. And I do think I said the wrong name of that first lake. I may not have named it right. Okay. Let's see.
People far back here, yes, near him, and then it would go vice versa. Or if we were at the front of the car going about the battery and talking about the battery, he was always on one side, she was on the other. They were never close to each other.
She was uncomfortable. Yeah. That screams awkwardness and someone being uncomfortable. And when in that scenario, if he was there with her, he should have been right next to her. If not dealing with you the entire time and not her. Did she seem high or intoxicated or?
I thought that maybe she was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
Can you show me on the map where you saw her?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're here in Reno. Let's go down to Truckee. There's Prosser, there's Boca. Just drop a pin on the road exactly where you saw her.
Well, we're at the right place, right? Boca, you come in, you follow this road down. I think that is the turnout right there. Yeah, this is it. And so right there, how she was coming out this way,
So
and out of
her front end was facing 894.
yeah.
All right. And did you leave before her? Or did she leave before you?
I left before her.
Was there anybody else around?
There was people far back here, yes, but not near her. No.
Did you notice anything in particular in her car at all?
I mean, besides perfume bottles and actually there was a perfume bottle that was in the center console, and that was all that I recall, to be honest.
Did she have anything on her keys at all?
I don't remember.
Did you say that you guys have cameras that could possibly get some sort of facial recognition on?
Yeah, so we do indeed. We have cameras facing front and rear of our vehicles, as well as we do have audio, so we can pick up audio from inside and outside of the truck. So we did have, and that's how I.
Okay. Okay. Chris, I'm sorry about the echo. I'm no computer genius here. I'm just trying. Well, I believe that Sammy has got some definite explaining to do. And I do know, let's see, Doug validates the guy. This film has been turned over to Ellie, and Doug said he believes case will be solved soon. He could not release details because would jeopardize the investigation. And I do understand that. I really do. I just wish that law enforcement would come out and tell us the tow truck driver is legitimate and, tell us the autopsy has been complete except for toxicology. We will not release that information until toxicology has came back. Something. Good Lord. Tell us something, law enforcement. That's my point. I may be impatient. I know I'm impatient. But it does not take that long to tell us if there was water in her lungs or not. And I don't believe there was. And I hope to God they tell us the truth. That's my point.
I normally do it for my protection.
What's the window you're giving us of when this happened?
Either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I believe. Because the weekends I usually cover Truckee, so. And that Friday I also worked in Truckee, so yeah.
If you were to make a bet on what day it was, what would you say?
When I was looking back under my GPS, under my phone of where I've been, I was there both Saturday and Sunday, farther into Boca.
Everything you just heard unfolded right here where I'm standing. Talking about where Nick described him parking his service van. When he pulled up to give the battery service to Kylie, he parked his van right here, facing that direction. Her vehicle was parked right over here, facing 894, that way. We're going outside of what we would normally do because we're normally working cold cases that have hardly had any resources whatsoever applied to them. This case has had over 10,000 man hours over the last 2 weeks placed in at Prosser. I'm confident in what has been done at Prosser. It doesn't mean I'm not going to check it. It just means that I'm not going to start there. We're going to make the most of our time by starting where we know not that much work was put into. I'm a firm believer in second chances. However, some things don't deserve forgiveness. Maliciousness does not deserve forgiveness. Cold-blooded, cold-heartedness, taking the life of a 16-year-old.
By the way they were just talking, sounds to me like they already know. Hi, Linda Wilson. I'm Judith. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. From what I heard, I don't know if there is any truth in it. The one that was doing the autopsy is crooked. Oh, well, I wouldn't want my daughter having an autopsy with him. He's got a bad rep. I know. I've heard about this. It's Wayne Wu, right? He is a coroner. And from the way I understand it, Linda, Nevada is doing a medical examiner in Nevada is doing the autopsy. That's what the way I understand it anyway. We might not ever know the truth. That's just my opinion. And that's what I'm so afraid of. Maybe the tow truck driver guy did it. The story would say why his fingerprints would be on the car. I think maybe they wanted his fingerprints on the car to throw law enforcement off. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. I hope vestiges. If the tow truck was facing the car, like he said, that picked up video and also audio inside and out. He done anything to her, it would be recorded. It should be recorded. It would be on a recording, I would think. Yeah, I would think. And the way I understand it, I'm sorry. It may have been Judith. I think it was. It was. I'm pretty sure. Judith said that when you call a tow truck driver, you have to show them your, like your AAA card, or, and a lot of times people have all this information on their cell phones, like their car insurance and stuff like that. Hi, Shelley. It's just the way the world is now. Everything is, on their cell phones. So somebody, I want to know what's going on. It's driving me crazy. That's true. We don't know anything, and maybe never will know the truth from anyone. God, I hope we find out the truth. But I think eventually we will. The truth always comes out. Always. And if the law enforcement's being crooked, or these kids are being crooked, or whatever, I do believe that justice will be served. Even if it takes 20 years. If somebody gets away with this, it'll eventually come to a head. I mean, look at all these people that are... I don't understand why people think that they can just get away with things in this day and age where, there's cameras everywhere, and everybody has a cell phone. Everybody takes pictures of everything and video of everything. There has got to be some evidence. I think there's a lot of evidence out there. And I would like to know where the pictures are of Kylie at this so-called party. And did anybody happen to capture Jagger at this party? I mean, okay, look, the parents are telling these kids, don't get involved, which is wrong, first off. And then we have Jagger saying that he was fishing with his father. Would his father lie for him? How can we prove, or how can Jagger prove, that he was fishing with his father? Did his cell phone ping out there at the lake where his father was? With they were out there fishing? I think we need more evidence to prove where Jagger was. Did his phone ping 4 hours away at this lake he was fishing at, which is kind of fishy? No pun intended. But this kid, looking at this kid, and I'm not judging, he's just a normal kid, right? But look at him, and do you think this kid would go fishing, or do you think this kid would say, I'm going to this party? I think he's more of a partier than a fisherman, just by the looks of him. And I'm not judging him. I'm just saying. You know, it's kind of like when you see somebody walking around in cowboy boots with spurs and they got a big belt on and a hat. What do you think? They're a cowboy, right? I'm not judging the cowboy, but that's his appearance to me as a cowboy. So Jagger, to me, his appearance is, I would rather go to a party than to go fishing, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? It is terrible. And, you know, I'm not blaming. I know I am blaming. I don't know who to blame. Now, I do know what I feel in my gut, you know, that I'm sure those kids were out there partying, but I'm not sure that Kylie ever got to a party. That's why I would like to see pictures of her at a party, at this party. Okay. Have a nice run. It's crazy that, thank you guys for coming in and listening. I'd love to hear what you think. I really would. I'm tired of hearing my own self think about this. I'm racking my brain. And I'm trying to pick apart all these conversations that these people are having. There's just so many things that don't seem right. And definitely, Sammy does not seem right. This girl, from the very beginning, this case has gave me Gabby Petito vibes. Big time. And I don't mean to point fingers, but I have to. Because that's just how I am. Sammy, is sus. I mean, she put herself right in the middle of this. Thinking, I believe that she was thinking that it would make her look innocent. Like she was just trying so hard for her bestest friend. And I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I think Meg, I mean, if she went with Kylie, I don't think she stuck around because she didn't want to be involved in it, but she could not stand up to Sammy because Sammy is the bad girl. I mean, we've all seen these after school specials and these Lifetime movies where there's this evil girl, right, in school that everybody feared. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I mean, I am finding, after I went through some stuff last night investigating, that a lot of the people that view my videos really enjoy the pendulum. So I was thinking about doing a live with the pendulum tonight, and just maybe we can see what's going on with that. Yeah, Marilyn, welcome to my channel. Mean girls, yes, exactly. There's always a mean girl and some mean guy in school. The ones that the kids never want to stand up to because they're scared of them. And Sammy is that girl. I mean, she reeks of it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be judgmental, but she reeks of mean girl vibes. I just want justice for Kylie. I really do. Whatever happened to her, we need the truth. We don't need smoke blowing up our butts. Just give us the truth. Give us the facts. Even if it's hard for us to swallow, I would rather have the truth and be able to deal with it than a lie, because I don't like to be lied to. I don't lie, and I will not lie. I don't want others to lie to me, because the truth is going to come out no matter what, even if it takes years and years and years. I just don't want it to take years, because I'm a very impatient person. You know, when I want something, I want it. When I turn on a light switch, there better be a light coming on. You know, I'm an instant gratification type person. I'm very impatient. I've always been that way. But I do know that everything in this world happens with God's time, in God's time, and in God's way. So I'm going to end this live, and I will be back this evening, and I will do a pendulum live. And because I know a lot of people are enjoying that. So from what I've seen on my YouTube studio thing, I don't know. Yeah, Marilyn, karma. You believe a love triangle. I believe it had something to do with jealousy, and I did put that in my little 2-minute video that I did last night. I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to do that, and it was after I did a live last night. I did that 2-minute video. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it's 2 minutes long. Go check that out. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment, because I read my comments. I get back to you. And I don't know how this happened, but I got behind on my comments. Because normally I would get a notification if I got comments, but I wasn't getting those. So I didn't think anybody was commenting. So when I went back to check, I found that I had done a video, and it was called Killer Granny. And this guy named Kyle Nolan reached out to me, and it's the Killer Granny, her son reached out to me. And I sent him a message back, and I sent him my email. And I'm hoping to hear back from him so that I can get some updates, because I was searching last night and I cannot find any updates on that case whatsoever. And I don't understand why. There has to be something. I mean, I know she was charged with murder and child endangerment, I believe it was. It should have been child abuse. I'm not sure what happened, but I did see that the little girl's name is Kylie Nolan, or Riley Nolan. I'm sorry. Lord help me. Riley Nolan. She was 3 years old, and she was killed by her grandmother in a little town around Oklahoma City. I am from Oklahoma, so I felt like I needed to cover that. And as a grandmother who adopted and have raised a grandchild of my own, it kind of stuck to me, you know. So I was covering this. I didn't have a whole lot of information on it. But the parents of Riley, the last that I got, they were expecting another child. And all of the children have been taken away, and they were wanting the newborn taken away as well. For their safety, I can understand that. But I really would like for the father, Kyle Nolan, to reach back out to me. Hopefully he does. If he does, I will definitely let y'all know. Maybe he'll come on and help us understand what happened, what his story is, what was this little baby's story. But I'll let you go, and until tonight, you guys have a good day, evening, supper time. Almost 4 and a granddaughter, 8. I have 10 grandchildren. I have 10 of them. My oldest is 20. And my youngest, he's probably about 3, 4 years old now. I've never met him. Not by my choice, but anyway, you guys have a good evening. Please give this a thumbs up for me. It's easy. It's free. Subscribe if you haven't. All that stuff you guys do means a lot. Even your comments mean a lot to me. I enjoy hearing what everybody has to say. I really do. Your voice texting. I do that, and sometimes it doesn't come out right. You're fine, Miss Linda. Okay, I love you guys. Have a good afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you tonight.